Hey guys, and welcome to this video on the Midheaven in Taurus. This video is for you if your Midheaven in astrology is in the sign of Taurus. I'm Cassandra, the Saffron Sage, helping you use astrology to evolve. And the Midheaven in Taurus, first of all, the Midheaven is not your sun sign. It is a point on your chart. It is the top of your chart, and it represents the house of our career, and it represents the point to which we can strive for self-actualization. So that being said, let's talk about the Midheaven in the sign of Taurus. The first thing to know about Taurus energy is that it represents the finer things in life. It represents the really working for and enjoying nice things, working for and enjoying independence and wealth and physical things that are comfortable. Taurus wants to be comfortable. It is the sign of comfort, and it can represent either beauty in an artistic sense, or it can represent wealth. If your midheaven is in Taurus, you may be drawn to generate wealth. However, you don't always relate to your midheaven, because we start at the bottom of our chart where we're born, the energy we're born into, which is our IC. If you're a Taurus midheaven, your IC is Scorpio, which means your childhood was somewhat scorpionic. Now, this can show up very differently for different people, but some examples of scorpionic childhood, the first thing that comes up is family secrets or family members, being raised in a family where you had to keep secrets or where people weren't open. You had to hide things from your neighbors, or your family hid things from you. That's the first interpretation of having Scorpio on the IC. The second thing you may have experienced in childhood with this midheaven is maybe a transcendence of wealth, right? So for some people this would be maybe poverty, but it's beyond just whether you had money or didn't have money. Scorpio energy is about merging with others. So you may have been raised in an environment where the connection between people, that soul connection, was regarded as more important than money or more important than physical things. In an extreme case, maybe your parents didn't let you have physical things, like you could have been a Jehovah's Witness or something else where you didn't get to have as much as other people. Scorpio is kind of a darker energy. So some people with Scorpio on the IC maybe have their own secrets about their childhood or have dark aspects of their childhood that they don't bring up to other people because it just wouldn't be appropriate. Having Scorpio on the IC is not a bad thing. It could have just meant you had a psychic parent, or it could mean that you experienced some kind of power dynamic or control or merging with others in some way when you were a kid. So then what happens is we get older and we want to self-actualize, and to self-actualize we need to move toward the opposite energy. So the opposite of Scorpio is Taurus, which is all about simplicity. It's an earth sign, it's stable, it's slow and steady, wins the race. Taurus is about building something. Okay, now this can be physically building something, like with your hands. It is an earth sign, so it can mean actually building things. It can also mean building an empire, building, a media company, building something electronic. It doesn't have to be physical or tangible. You could build a stock portfolio. But if you have Taurus on your midheaven, your way of self-actualizing is to build something, to make something bigger than you, especially if you're building wealth. This midheaven is about enjoying being at the top, and some of them can be rags to riches stories. The Taurus midheaven is all about creating things for people to appreciate, whether that be a piece of art, a beautiful song. Many people with Taurus energy have good voices. Or it can be building something else that other people are going to enjoy and appreciate. The point here is for Taurus midheaven people, you have to be building something. There's a need here to build something bigger than you. People with Taurus on the midheaven can attract other people at higher levels who want to help them. That's one of the talents and gifts of this midheaven. Other talents are using their hands to make things, having a nice voice, whether that be a nice singing voice or just a soothing voice or a prominent voice, a voice that like stands out, that is an asset to them. Taurus Midheaven people, once they find their groove, they tend to stay in that position or that field or that industry. They can also have artistic abilities and may be known for their sensuality. The Taurus Midheaven needs a career that reflects their values. In life in general, Taurus Midheaven people need to be able to express their values. This can be a challenge for them, and it's really important to them. Taurus rules value, it rules self-worth. So for Taurus Midheaven people, they need to be moving towards something that makes them feel good about themselves. Having high self-worth, having high confidence is important for these people. Knowing their value is important. Feeling like they are valuable, putting themselves in positions where they are valuable is also important. And living in alignment with their values, but being able to speak their values, super important to know for Taurus Midheaven people. People with the Midheaven in Taurus also do need to move at their own pace. They may not be in a hurry. They may be really the kind of people that will patiently move toward a goal one step at a time, year after year after year. This is right for you. If your Midheaven is in Taurus and you are slowly moving toward a goal, slow growth is good growth, okay? This is true for all of us, but for the Taurus Midheaven, this is really essential. It's essential that they feel like confident and in control. Someone with a Taurus Midheaven, one of the challenges is feeling scared to move outside of your comfort zone, or sometimes Taurus Midheaven people will get stuck in a rut because the sign of Taurus really loves comfort. So if you imagine you're climbing a mountain, it's easy for the Taurus Midheaven person, once they get comfortable, to just want to enjoy that. People with their Midheaven and Taurus need to move at their own pace. They need to move slowly and steadily toward a goal. A Midheaven and Taurus person is not going to want to rush things. They are not going to want to jump crazy straight into something. That doesn't mean someone with a Midheaven and Taurus will never ever take a risk. But if you have your Midheaven and Taurus, you may be risk averse, and that is a challenge for the Midheaven and Taurus person, or people with any Taurus placements, is knowing when to take the risk, knowing when it's worth it to do something new and get out of your comfort zone, because Taurus is a fixed earth sign. It can be stubborn, right? It can stick with things long after it needs to, and knowing when to let something go and knowing when the right time to change is a challenge for people with this Midheaven. Some career examples of the Taurus Midheaven are massage therapist, working with the earth like a florist or a farmer, even something like a construction worker where they're physically building things. Other examples are working with money, so working in the finance industry or anything that helps them build wealth, working with portfolios and stocks, anything that helps other people build wealth. They can also work as artists, and some of them are chefs. These are not the only careers someone with a Midheaven and Taurus can have. They are just some examples. So if you are, for example, a social media influencer and you have Taurus on your Midheaven, you would probably be more interested in, creating the back end strategy for your YouTube channel or something like that, where you're interested in building the course behind the scenes and make it more than just one thing. You might be interested in making it into an empire. The worst thing you can do with one of these videos is say, oh, it said chef, I'm gonna go be a chef, when you have no desire to be a chef. Okay, the way to use these Midheaven videos is to really understand the energetic frequency of your Midheaven and move toward that energy in whatever field you decide to work in. So moving toward the frequency of wealth, of building wealth for yourself, of working for and enjoying the finer things in life, being independent, independently taking action to create something that the world can enjoy and really build that up in your life over time. That is the Taurus Midheaven energy. Some famous examples of a Taurus Midheaven are my favorite astrologer, David Lawrence Palmer, the Leo King. He has a Taurus Midheaven and is a really perfect example of an astrologer who has mastered his Midheaven by building a media company. Other famous examples of the Taurus Midheaven are Demi Lovato, Muhammad Ali, Heidi Klum, and Selena Gomez. Okay, you guys, that is my video on the Taurus Midheaven. So just to recap, if your midheaven is in the sign of Taurus, you are here to build wealth, to build something for other people to enjoy. Your challenge is getting out of your comfort zone and knowing when is the right time to change. Once you find that right thing, you will be able to stick with it if you choose to. And the frequency and the real energy around Taurus Midheaven is value, self-worth, and wealth and beauty. So that's all I have for you guys. Be sure to check out my other Midheaven videos. Join my group Astrology and Alchemy to see me live twice a week. If you want to know more about your Midheaven, book a session with me. I'll see you in the next video.